Bitcoin shot past six figures and Ethereum is breaking records. Meanwhile, my XRP bags, well, they're just sitting there. They're barely moving. And I'm watching these charts and feeling like the only kid not invited to the crypto party. Thinking, did I miss the memo or what? Honestly, it kind of felt like a bit of a mind game, right? I'm seeing everyone celebrate Bitcoin at over $114,000 and Ether above $4,200. Social feeds are buzzing with rocket emojis, and I'm here, just holding XRP, watching paint dry at around $2 and something. But do you know what? This kind of slowpoke coin is actually teaching me one of the hardest lessons in crypto. The psychological game of HODLing versus timing the market. Now, I want to take you on this little adventure, my adventure, through the frustration, the FOMO, and a weird discovery involving mining crypto on my phone. And finally, a payoff that I never actually saw coming. And here's a spoiler. It changes how I see this whole crypto thing. Now, before we go any further, here's a quick heads up. We do have this awesome free educational Discord server. It's where we chat about stuff like this, our wins, our mistakes, our crazy new projects, you name it. Now, if you're into learning and hanging out with like-minded folks, then definitely check it out, right? Also, just so that you know, I might also mention a couple of exchanges that I use, things like Blowfin or BitGet, and yes, those are affiliate links in the description. So using them is completely up to you, but if you do use them, it does support the channel here at no extra cost to yourself. So if you do, thank you very much. All right, let's set the stage here. It's a few weeks ago, Bitcoin is pumping like it's 2021 all over again, smashing past 100K, Ethereum is climbing, touching heights that we haven't seen in ages. People are calling it the next bull super cycle, right? Meanwhile, XRP, one of my favorite coins, has just been stuck under $3, basically twiddling its thumbs. It actually dropped below $3 not that long ago when the whole market dipped too. And even as everything is kind of recovered, XRP has just kind of felt and stayed a bit flat. So if you've ever kind of held XRP, you will know this feeling. It's kind of like everyone else is at a rave and XRP is the guy in the corner checking his watch. So there I was, right? Caught in this kind of psychological tug of war. Part of me was like, maybe I should rotate into something else. Maybe chase one of those newer tokens going 5x this month, huh? Right? You know, that little devil on your shoulder. It whispers, why are you holding this boring coin? Look at those shiny DeFi tokens over there. They're doubling overnight. And it's tempting, right? Especially with crypto Twitter flexing insane gains left and right. But just then I came across this commentary from a finance coach that I follow. This is Coach JV. Now, the guy's been around the block, and he said something that kind of smacked me right in the face. He predicts that XRP will have its own big moment, and that it'll be fast, unexpected, and unforgiving. Now, those were his exact words. Fast, unexpected, and unforgiving, meaning that one day XRP's just gonna rip brutally, catching everyone off guard. And if you're not already in by then, it's too bad. Game is over. You'll blink and you'll miss it. And that hit me pretty hard. It made me think of what happened in the past. So here's a quick history lesson. Back in 2017, during that epic bull run, XRP was actually lagging behind while Bitcoin and others took off early in the year anyway. People were trash talking it, saying that it was dead weight. And then suddenly, around March of 2017, XRP just woke up. And I'm talking woke up like a rocket, right? It went from fractions of a penny to over $3 at its peak in January of 2018. That is something crazy, like 66,000% increase in under a year. And yes, you heard that right. So if you had $100 in XRP at the beginning of 2017, at one point, it would have been worth like $66,000. And more recently, we kind of saw a repeat of that pattern. Through a lot of kind of 2024, XRP was, well, underperforming, while the rest of the market was partying. Then, late 2024, boom, XRP exploded again. And by January of 2025, it hit around $3.40, which once again outpaced a whole lot of the market's gains. It was like XRP was saying, sorry, I'm late to the party, but let me show you how you really dance. Now, I remember that run because it kind of left a lot of people in awe, myself kind of included, thinking, man, patience really can pay off. So, Coach JV's words, they aren't coming out of nowhere then. They're actually based on these patterns. Now, he basically believes it's going to happen again, another unforgiving spike that leaves the kind of procrastinators eating the dust. And crucially, he said that people who will take advantage of this aren't the smartest traders with the fancy algorithms or whatever. It's actually the most disciplined hodlers, the people like you and I, who just quietly keep accumulating or at least held on through all of the boring times. Now, here's where I had to check myself, and I'll be honest, I haven't always been that disciplined hodler. I've tried to time the market from time to time. I've been that guy. Sometimes I won, but many times I'd actually sell thinking that I could buy back lower, and then the news would drop and, well, a rally would basically start and I'd end up scrambling to buy back, but at a much higher price. It's almost comical how bad timing can burn you, right? So if you've ever sold a coin and then 2 days later it shot up 50%, then you're just sitting there staring at your screen in disbelief. Yeah, I've been there, I've done that, and I've got the t-shirt. Now, hearing that message, when it moves, it's just too late to get ready, as Coach JV would put it, made me reflect on my own approach here. Now, if XRP truly is going to have its sudden massive move, then I need to be ready for before it actually happens, right? Mentally and, of course, portfolio-wise too. That's not financial advice to anyone. It's just me thinking out loud about my own strategy. And speaking of advice, let me slip in this real quick because it's super important. Now, this might just shock you, but I'm not a financial advisor and nothing in this video is financial advice. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile and you could lose all of the money that you invest. You should always do your own research and consult a qualified professional. After all, your investments are entirely your responsibility and you should know that nothing is ever guaranteed when it comes to investing. Neither I, this channel, nor YouTube are liable for any losses, and this video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Alright, that's the disclaimer handled. I know that was long, but it's got to be done. Because seriously, as exciting as all of these stories are, crypto is risky, and I want us all to stay safe and sane. But let's get back to the story, because here I am telling myself, okay, I'm just gonna hodl my XRP. I've come this far, not gonna be shaken out now. But waiting is pretty hard. Like psychologically, it's one of the hardest things. It sounds easy, just be patient. But when your money's on the line and you're seeing opportunity costs everywhere, it is kind of like torture. So it's kind of like being at a theme park and you choose to wait for that one ride that always has the longest line. You keep seeing other rides with no lines and you're thinking, maybe I should just do those instead. But you know that if you leave your spot, the moment that you do, your line will start moving faster. Classic. So I keep myself from going crazy and obsessing over XRP's price 24/7. I actually decided to immerse myself in other productive things within the crypto space. You know, instead of refreshing price charts, do something cool, learn something new. And that's when I stumbled upon a project called Unity. Now, Unity nodes is a totally different beast from trading coins, right? Imagine turning your phone, your everyday smartphone, into a part of a decentralized network that actually earns crypto for doing some work, right? It sounds pretty wild. And that's exactly what caught my attention, right? Here's the deal. Unity Nodes is a collaboration between two different crypto projects, Minutes Network and World Mobile. Now, they had this idea. Instead of needing huge servers or expensive mining rigs, why not just use regular smartphones to help run a blockchain-based network? Essentially, you run an app on your phone. It does some network verification tasks, and you get rewarded in crypto. These are things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano's ADA, maybe even XRP in the future, who knows? And you get all that for just helping out. So it's kind of like, remember when people mined Bitcoin on their laptops before it got really crazy? Well, it kind of gives those kind of vibes, but updated for 2025 and focused on helping mobile networks. So if you've heard of Helium or World Mobile, these projects were set up for kind of like wireless networks or hotspots and earned tokens, right? Or cryptocurrencies, right? Now, Unity nodes is rather similar in spirit, but it uses cell phones as a mini network nodes. And instead of just mining randomly, we're actually contributing to the telecoms network coverage and reliability. It's pretty cool, right? It's merging telecoms with crypto in a way that we haven't actually seen before. Now, people are talking about Unity nodes because if it works, it could make building a decentralized telecoms network way more feasible. Let's think about it this way, right? Telecom infrastructure is usually super centralized. Big cell towers, big companies, tons of expensive equipment. Unity nodes, it flips the script, right? Regular people can participate with devices that they already have. And in return, they get a slice of the pie for basically being a kind of tiny part of the infrastructure. It's kind of like a really interesting experiment in decentralization. And hey, even if it doesn't become the next best big thing, I just find it awesome when crypto is being used to solve real world problems, like improving the connectivity. And so, in the spirit of trying something new whilst waiting for XRP to do something, I actually bought one of these Unity nodes and 200 licenses. Here's full disclosure, it was not cheap, right? Each Unity node setup runs around $5,000. Now I know that is an awful lot, but that price includes some tokens, World Mobile token and Minute tokens staked to your node already, right? Prepaid for, and they are staked for 2 years minimum. Now, that's a whole bunch, and it comes also with 200 licenses. So basically, I got a bunch of tokens, World Mobile and Minutes tokens, and 200 licenses, that I can use to connect up to 200 different phones to the network. Now, I'm not about to go out and buy 200 phones for the record, but I am planning to test maybe 10 or 20 phones right here on the desk once their app is live and active. So picture a little mini phone farm then, a bunch of phones sat on my desk, all running this Unity app, earning little bits of crypto as they help verify the network. And if it works out, I may just scale from the 10 to 20 phones up to 100 to 200 phones. You never know. This is my own little crypto phone army. It's honestly kind of fun in a nerdy way. I actually feel a bit like a mad scientist whenever I experiment with stuff just like this. And the best part is that it's going to keep me busy and distracted so that I'm not just staring at the XRP charts all day. Now, will Unity nodes make me rich? I doubt it, right? But it should be a pretty decent side income. But that's not really why I'm doing it, right? I'm doing it because it's a project that actually aligns with the ethos of crypto, right? It's a community participation, decentralization, and because there's a chance it yields some pretty decent passive income, even if that turns out to be more modest than maybe their calculator, projects. By the way, guys, you can check out the link in the description to get more details about all of this, their white paper, their rewards calculator, all of it. Plus, if it does grow the way that, I actually think it can, then I'll actually have some early access to it and, have learned the ropes pretty quickly, which is priceless in this kind of space. Now, here's one thing to note. Unity have a limited availability, and there was a lot of buzz during the sale because not everyone wanted, at least who wanted one, could necessarily afford it. Now, I won't get the exact numbers and put them on the screen here because I just don't know, right? But the light paper says 6,000 is the maximum supply. There's still some available on their website at the moment. But let's just say that it's somewhat scarce, right? So I do feel a little bit fortunate to have grabbed one of these, right? There's this also, should note that the whole NFT angle here as well, the node and the licenses are NFTs, which means they are going to be tradable in the future when they launch. If I ever decide that it's not for me, I could resell my node or even the individual licenses to someone else if they want to run them. But for now, I'm all in as a bit of an experimenter. All right. So here I am with my Unity node plan in motion and my XRP bag still sitting tight. And wouldn't you know it, almost as if on cue, the crypto market gods decided to test my conviction. One random Tuesday morning, I wake up, rub my eyes, and I check my phone, and it's pure chaos. XRP again is skyrocketing. Like finally. seeing $3, right? It even wicked close to that $4 not that long ago, right? $3.66 at one point. Of course, my notifications are, of course, going nuts. Friends are texting me, dude, XRP. And Twitter, of course, exploding with hashtags around XRP, and they're all trending. But here I am, half awake, heart pounding, staring at the screen, with this dumb kind of grin on my face. Is it happening? The fast and the unexpected move that we've all been talking about, is it finally here? Is it unfolding so quickly that I can barely even process it? I kind of felt a bit vindicated and honestly kind of shocked at it all. In the span of hours, XRP moved, more than it had done in maybe in the last few weeks. And if you hadn't been positioned beforehand, well, you could probably forget about it. Now, by the time that most people caught wind, the train had left the station. It was indeed a little bit unforgiving. Now, I won't lie, part of me was like, is this real life? Watching the long-held investment finally take off is a bit of a mix of euphoria and disbelief. But because I'm mentally prepared, I didn't rush to sell anything, at the first green candle. I did take some profits, but hey, that's smart to secure some gains, right? But the majority of my stack is intact. I let it ride and still holding tight. My plan is to ride this bull run momentum and then maybe take profits gradually on the way up later, rather than panic selling or conversely getting too greedy and diamond handling it all the way into oblivion. What really hit me though was seeing how many people online were, I guess, laminating that they had missed it, right? And I saw posts like, I sold my XRP last month, I can't believe this. Or I was waiting for a dip that never came and now I'm buying back higher, FML, right? It kind of drove home the exact point here that Coach JV warned us all about, right? The winners weren't the day traders trying to outsmart the market. It was the patient ones who held on, who actually quietly accumulated when everyone else was, pessimistic. For XRP, it is a classic kind of tortoise and the hare, isn't it, right? Slow and steady versus the fast and flashy. Now in crypto, weirdly enough, being the tortoise can actually make you the hare at the finish line, right? Because the race isn't a short sprint. It's actually a marathon of cycles. It's such a psychological game. And honestly, a lot of investing is just managing your own emotions, fighting that urge to chase the green candles or to panic during the dips, right? The disciplined investor isn't necessarily the hyperactive day trader glued to the screen 24/7. It's often the ones who set a plan, stick to it, and maybe go, onto the beach while everyone else is just overthinking. So, what did I learn from all of this roller coaster today? Well, there's two big things here. First is patience, as boring as it sounds, and can actually be ridiculously powerful. It's almost like a cheat code in the crypto space. Those huge XRP gains weren't captured by people who timed it perfectly. They were captured by people who were in positions and simply didn't flinch during the quiet times. It's a reminder that sometimes the best strategy is to do nothing and chill. Second, it actually pays to explore and to keep an open mind. Crypto isn't just about price charts and moonshots. It's about innovation, technology, and community. Now, my little foray into Unity nodes kind of showed me a side of crypto that's about building and participating, not just obsessing over the numbers. Will that experiment pan out? I'm hopeful. Yes, but maybe it won't. You never know. But at least I'm in the arena. I'm learning new stuff and I'm trying stuff out that I haven't tried before. Not putting all of my happiness on whether XRP moves today or tomorrow. I also realized just how much I value being part of a community during these wild times. Celebrating that XRP pump was way more fun with others in our Discord server, sharing the memes, sharing the I told you so moments. And if you're not part of a community, then I'd say go find one, whether it's ours or another, because it does make this journey a hell of a lot less lonely and a lot more enjoyable. And about those exchanges that I mentioned earlier, whether you're trading actively or just buying to hold, make sure that you are using a reliable platform. Now, I do personally use a couple of them. Yes, shameless plug incoming, right? I do have affiliate links for Blowfin and BitGet if you're looking for a new place to trade. Using those links supports the channel, so I really do appreciate it. But of course, There is no pressure. You've got to use whatever you are comfortable with. Just be mindful of security, keep 2FA on, and all of that good stuff. All right, I think that's going to cover my crazy crypto saga for the moment. From feeling left out while Bitcoin and Ethereum mooned, to reaffirming my conviction in XRP, to turning on a mini kind of mobile network operator with Unity. It's been a bit of a ride, and I have a feeling that the ride's only just getting started. If you've enjoyed coming along on this adventure with me, or you've got some value from it, then you can do me an absolute solid by smashing that like button, hitting the subscribe button to join us on the next adventure. I've got plenty more stories and experiments lined up my sleeves, even though I'm not wearing any. So thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll catch you all in the next one.